My name is Rock Drawings, that's my Tewa name, Kutang. And my Tewa village name is Nambe, Nambe. And my Christian name is Lonnie Vigil. I met Gaylord Torrance, the curator here at Nelson-Atkins Museum, through some very special friends. Gaylord came to me, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago, and asked me if I could create a piece for the museum. Gaylord and also the board of directors are recognizing that Native American artwork is on the same par as Asian artwork, as Western artwork, and is not being separated as ethnographic. In other words, people who have gone and no longer around. And so I'm honored to be a part of that so that people are aware. I mean, it's a natural fact, it's just that I think society has finally caught up with the concept. All of my work, I personally consider it traditional because the method in which I do it and also the shapes and forms that I use. And in the method, I'm talking about the gathering of the materials. I do that twice a year, in the spring and in the fall, before the earth goes to sleep, because we don't bother her when she's asleep. And the gathering of the clay is always preceded by an offering and a prayer. In other words, we ask permission to take the clay. We just don't take it. Once I've asked permission, then I begin digging the clay, and it's in very hard chunks, so it involves a lot of physical work to gather it. And we only gather what we can use for that particular season. We don't take more than we can use. It's a collaboration between myself and the clay, so it's not as if I start out with an intent to create a particular shape, form, or piece. I may have some ideas, but as we go and work along with it, the clay also brings out her own desires and wishes, so the two of us together make whatever the shape eventually turns out to be. The clay is abundant in mica, and that's why it's referred to as micaceous clay. In my language, it's called sambe nang, which literally means cooking pot clay. It has a wonderful elasticity. It's so tactile and so sensual as you feel it that it has such a soothing and warming effect on you. We refer to the clay mother, which is the spirit of the clay, because all things are living, including the clay. It's in all these pieces that I see. As soon as I walked into this room, I could already feel it. I feel I was chosen by her through the spirit of my great-grandmother to do this work. There's this very emotional and tense time just before the firing, and then I try and find the right day to do it and the right time when I'm most in center with myself. And all this is done by intuition because I have no thermometer I can measure or no way I can physically decide when to do it. It's all by intuition. And oftentimes there'll be even maybe like a hummingbird or another kind of bird or an animal that will come by and help me. And what I mean by help me is they'll just give me a little sign, is it the right time, or should I add the wood or not yet? And so I follow not only my own intuition, but often messages that come from outside of myself. It's such a satisfying feeling because all of the work from the gathering of the clay initially to the processing and preparing it, actually making the pots, working with them, finally the firing is completed, and that's when you feel like, you finally feel a sense of completion. I do feel very honored on behalf of myself and my family and my village to have this piece of work represented here at the Nelson-Atkins Museum. Although it's true I have signed it, but my view of it is that it's a collective work. It doesn't belong to me, and it belongs to my community, it belongs to my family, it belongs to my ancestors. Everywhere you look, they're the beings of those people, as well as the ancient ones too, pieces that have been created by people that have gone before us already. So I'm honored to be not only in this museum, but in the presence of all these other pieces here that people took their heart, their life, their energy, and put into this to create this beauty.